Coming up on Your Money and Your Life, is it still cost-effective to eat at home as grocery prices keep rising? Golden tips to save on your private health insurance. What was your first ever investment and how is it performing now? Plus, what to look for at your next home inspection with property mastermind Andrew Winter. G'day and welcome to Your Money and Your Life, the show that's all about saving, spending, investing and managing your money. My goal is to help you get on top of your finances and live a better life. Today we're kicking off with something a bit different. Buying a house is the biggest single investment you will ever make. It's spring selling season, so if you're in the market, this is what you need to consider. House hunters, listen up. Look, the market is pretty hot at the moment. We've got interest rates coming down, buyers more confident, shortage of stock. How do you find your dream home at the right price? Well, I'm here on the Gold Coast hinterland about to pick the brains of Compare the Market's housing guru, Andrew Winter, for all the tips that are going to help you. Andrew, nice Queenslander, isn't it?
It is, isn't it? Yeah.
Beautiful. How do you prepare before you even get to an open inspection?
Well, that's the thing. You've got to be prepared. I'd never come in here cold. Obviously, you look at the listing online, you get an idea of the floor plans, pictures, you know what the property is. But if you don't know the area, you need to have looked at the property report so you're informed when you get here.
Are you excited when you come in?
You want to play it a little bit cool because you don't want everyone thinking everyone's interested because that just builds up the price.
OK.
Are you interested? Yeah. I suppose so. Yeah.
Let's start the inspection with the kitchen.
OK, well, kitchen's really important. I'll tell you why.
Right, so this is the kitchen.
Yeah.
Start with the top. No. Why do people do that? Is that useful?
There is a reason for doing it.
Yeah.
But if I was looking at this particular house, I wouldn't bother. Because I know this is a kitchen that needs renovation.
Yep.
But if you're buying a house that's in good condition, you're likely to pay a premium for that. You want these doors to soft close nicely. You want the pressure in the tap. You want this cooktop to be perfect. You want all that.
Let's go on to the next one.
Oh, yes. Yeah. Well, hopefully we won't have to do as much banging of cupboard doors in that one. Right, this is one of the secondary bedrooms. Oh, OK. Now, there's something I really hate on open inspections, when the owners are sitting there watching everything. If we were renovating, which like this property is, I'd be looking at this room. One of the things I'd be looking at is the colour of the windows, because unless they're black or white, they will date. And a lot of people don't like coloured window frames, so that could be a cost to change or spray.
But you always talk about renovating.
Yes,
A lot of people don't want to renovate.
Correct, yeah.
So what should you look for in a room
Well, let's just
like
imagine
this?
we were in this house and perhaps it's 5 years old and it's generally in good condition, but for some reason, you just don't click with it.
Right.
Don't buy it, because guess what? 2 or 3 years, you'd be fighting amongst each other, going, why do we ever buy this place?
Yep.
And you don't want to pay a little bit too much to secure something that you don't really, really love.
Oh, Andrew, what a bathroom. Do you like it?
If I was looking at this house as a renovator, as a family bar, I'd be going, actually, this is an advantage because this bathroom is clearly completely usable.
Right.
Doesn't need immediately changing, which is always an advantage. But long-term, with my renovation value-add head, you know what I'd be doing?
What?
I would be blocking that wall off there, putting a wall here, little family bathroom that way, ensuite bathroom for that bedroom there.
Oh, because a bedroom is the other side of the wall. How important are en-suites?
Well, bathroom counts these days are really, really important. So if you can add a bathroom without negatively impacting the existing living space, you're on a win.
Let's get down to business.
Yes.
You're interested in buying a house.
Right.
First thing you should do.
Well, the first thing you should have already done before you even got in the front door is get your finance pre-approved.
Right.
You know, make contact with our Meerkat friends, get it all sorted out, know what you can afford, because otherwise it's like shopping without money. It's the most essential part of your search.
Auction day.
Yeah.
How do you approach it?
How would I approach it? Well, remember, if you're not confident to bid, you can always get somebody to do it for you. OK? An agent will step in and do it for you. However, to me, the most important thing is, and what I tend to do is not bid. Auctioneers will...
Not bid?
No! I'll let everybody else carry on with the bidding. When the bidding's got right to the very max and it's at 1 million, you go in with 1,005,000. And you really... And then they say, we're not taking it. I said, OK, well, that's my bid. and then you really slow it down. So you don't want to show your cards until later.
How do you get an understanding of what's a reasonable value on a property?
Kind of need to have done your research before.
Yeah.
So that you've come here, you've got your property report, you've downloaded that, you've looked at the area, you've studied the market, you've seen what's selling for $1 million, and on the things you've looked at online, you've gone, they're kind of similar, so I'd be comfortable paying around that price.
Andrew Winter, you're a marvel.
I am.
Great tips. Good to see you.
I am. No, and thank you again, you two, for letting us look around your house. They're there, you know. Oh, hello.
Oh. After the break, is cooking at home still cheaper than eating out? The verdict is next. Welcome back to Your Money and Your Life. Well, for even the most savvy of shoppers, there's really no escaping the rise of grocery prices. According to research from Compare the Market, Aussies are spending an extra $1,000 a year on groceries compared to just last year. And it's the grocery bill that's worrying households the most. It begs the question, are we still better off buying groceries and cooking at home, or is eating out more economical? Well, for more, with all the answers, I'm joined by financial coach Betsy Westcott. Betsy, should you feel guilty about eating out in this cost of living crisis?
Well, look, dining out is more than just fueling our tummies, isn't it? It's about that social connection, taking a beat, taking a moment's reprieve from all the pressures of life. So I love dining out. It brings me so much joy. But the balance is, you know, making sure that you're dining at places that you can afford, that you're not doing it too often. And when you do go out, that you're actually having a really good time and getting bang for your buck. So we as Aussies dine out on average 38 times a year, according to some research. That's about 3 times a month. I have a suspicion that a few of us are doing it a little bit more often than that. But nevertheless, it is a really important part of our general well-being. Just do it mindfully and in a way that you can afford.
So if you're going out and you're tech savvy, there's some really good apps that can help. What are your favourites?
I love all these apps. I use them every time I go out. So it depends on what you're doing. So if you are just coming out of maybe the movies or something and it's a last-minute dinner booking, you're like, let's grab a bite to eat, then I would check out Eat Club. They will show you local diners around you that will give you up to 50% off not only your food, but also the drink. So that's a big saving on your bill.
Yep.
Then if you're someone who likes to dine early or maybe late, then I would check out First Table, which is great for me with 2 little kids. I'm always the first one in the restaurant. So check out First Table. They'll give you up to 50% off your dining if you take that early or late setting. Then there's one called the Happiest Hour. So, as the name suggests, it will show you all the local happy hours with all the drink deals, but it'll also show you when they have those meal deals at the pubs, you know, like schnitty night, fish and chips, burger night, things like that. And last but not least is an oldie, but quite a goodie, which is Groupon. Now, they're great if you are planning something in advance. So maybe you've got a family birthday coming up, you want to take everyone out, but you don't want it to break the bank. Look at Groupon. They'll show you restaurants offering those big discounts on pre-booked meals in advance.
Wow, that could save you a lot of time and money, isn't it?
Absolutely.
They're great apps to keep in mind. Now, what about if you do want to cook at home? Is there a big advantage? You've done some comparisons between eating out and cooking at home. How'd they compare?
I did the math, Koshi, and I hate to say it, but it still pays to cook at home. So I compared 5 nights of happiest hour offerings on food and drink versus going to the major local grocery store and buying the same ingredients.
And these are on your chart there, sort of specialty nights to go and eat out at different pubs. So good value eating out.
Yeah, good value. This is what I would call a sensible, mindful, budget-friendly purchase. But nevertheless, on all but one of them, you would be saving money if you simply cooked at home. The one that did beat cooking at home was a fish and chip night. If you love fish and chips, there's permission to go and get them. But essentially, if you are trying to save money and build up some savings, maybe get into the housing market, it does pay to stay at home and cook. That being said, if you do want to go out, which is an important part of our general social well-being, look to use these apps, do it mindfully, do it savvily, and have some fun.
Yep, and look, if you're going out as a group, you can multiply that savings difference by the extra people. That's when I really annoy my adult kids when they're complaining about cost of living. I say, don't go to restaurants as a group. Have your trivia night at home and have a fondue night. It'll come out cheaper.
That's it. Maybe pizza night just to make it a bit more mod. But yes, sound advice there, Koshi.
Okay. Yeah, they all rolled their eyes at me anyhow. All right, Betsy, some great tips. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hi, I'm Grady Wolf from Bell Direct, and here's our stock of the week. Zipco is showcasing strong momentum in both its core markets and digital payment solutions. Known for its buy now, pay later services, Zip allows customers to make purchases and pay in instalments while also offering point-of-sale credit options both online and in stores. Its partnership with Stripe enables merchants to offer Zip as a payment option, boosting sales and market share in the highly competitive fintech space. Focused on Australia, New Zealand, and of course the US, Zip's growing global presence is contributing to its impressive performance. Importantly, Zip has maintained a very healthy credit performance, with bad debts stable at around 1.6% of total transaction volume, which is a key metric to keep down. With solid earnings growth, a $50 million share buyback program, and the potential upside from interest rate cuts, Zipco is a strong buy for investors seeking exposure to a leading fintech player with growing earnings and financial inclusion at its core.
Just ahead, investing in tunnels and tollways, the role infrastructure assets can play in your portfolio. Welcome back to Your Money and Your Life. Now, currently, there are more than 300 ETFs or exchange-traded funds listed on the Australian Stock Exchange. The most valuable being Vanguard Australian Shares, which has a $20 billion market cap and often steals the limelight because of its size. But did you know there are also smaller ETF subsets available to investors? Infrastructure ETFs give investors exposure to assets like data centres, toll roads and airports, and could be the building block you need to add diversification to your portfolio. For more of this, I'm joined by the ETF whisperer himself, back again. Andrew Weiland joins us from DP Wealth Advisory, based in Toowoomba. Andrew, great to see you, mate.
Thanks for the Toowoomba call out, Koshi.
Tell us about infrastructure ETFs. What do they hold? What do they do?
So for a number of people who are watching this, they're driving to and from work or to kids' sport or whatever the case may be, and they pay a toll. And in Australia, that would be to Transurban. You can certainly see for a number of people, infrastructure plays an important part in their lives as well. And I say to my clients, just like bank shares, don't get mad, get even. Buy bank shares, or you could buy Transurban shares and share in the dividends, etc.
Right.
But that's concentration risk. And previously you and I discussed the dangers of concentration risk. So another way to do it is to buy a basket of infrastructure companies. And so on the ASX, there's the ETFs that you were talking about before, these exchange-traded funds. And we suggest to clients somewhere between 4 and 6% of their portfolio, generally speaking, should go into these infrastructure-style ETFs to give you that diversification.
So when do they shine, these infrastructure ETFs? Are they sort of a defensive foundation for your portfolio?
The reason I paused there when you're asking that question, Koshi, is because they're a bit of an all-weather. You know, there are certainly some companies, so technology companies, when interest rates are low, everyone's talking about ChatGPT and these large language models, they have their moment in the sun. And then there's some uncertainty, and then they all get sold off and technology markets fall 20%. Infrastructure companies, unless there's a massive spike in interest rates, they just plod along. But to your question, it's just an all-weather play.
Okay, all right. Give us 3 good infrastructure ETFs, the ones that you like.
Koshi, my first infrastructure pick is from BlackRock, GLIN. It's got the top 136 infrastructure companies from around the world, including Australia.
Wow.
So it's very beige, for the want of a better term.
From all around the world?
All around the world.
Right.
That's a really good point, because the compare and contrast is just by Transurban, predominantly in Australia, predominantly toll roads.
Right.
Whereas it can be across railroads, it can be across toll roads,
Okay.
it can be across power companies, you know, it's an eclectic mix. In the case of GLIN, it's got more of a US bias.
Right. Next one?
Next one is Mitch, M-I-C-H, from Magellan. And so it is more active. It is trying to actively find where there's opportunities. It's got more of a bias towards toll roads.
Right.
So it's got about $550 million worth of funds under management. GLIN's got over $1 billion.
Right. And your final one?
It's a relatively new one. As you know, I'm a little bit cool usually on new ones. I like to let them settle, but they have a managed fund version, so we actually know what it's done as a managed fund. It's now just being recently listed on the ASX as an ETF, and it's from Clearbridge. And what it is, it's a hedged version of their strategy. The MICH has got a European bent, GLIN's got a US bent. The Clearbridge hedged ETF has actually got a mix. It's about 40% each. Right. And so it's performed quite well. It's also paying a reasonable dividend as well. So if you've got more of a US bias, you might consider GLIN, and you want passive. If you want more active and you think European infrastructure is the way to go, MICH. If you're saying, look, it's all a bit too hard, maybe just one that's sort of a bit of a blend of everything, then potentially the Clearbridge version is the way to go.
Great foundations for your portfolio. Andrew, good to see you.
Thanks, Koshi.
Still to come on Your Money and Your Life, blast from the past. We hit the streets to ask how your investment journey began. Now to the growing cost of private health insurance. This year, premiums shot up by the largest amount in 7 years, with one provider passing on hikes of more than 9%. In a cost of living crisis, it begs the question, are people getting good value? More than 15 million Aussies have some form of health insurance. That's nearly half the population. And there's a good reason why. It's designed to take pressure off the public health system, plus there are benefits. Here's GP Dr. Judy Mansberg.
If you're in an emergency, the public system, it's got you covered. So if you go to an emergency department, you will get treatment. Where private health insurance fits in is if you want to choose your own doctor, maybe have something like surgery in a more timely manner, maybe access some treatments that would not be available in the bare bones system of the emergency public system. For those people, private health insurance could really play a role.
There are two kinds of health insurance, hospital cover and extras. Both can be combined. With hospital, there are different levels of coverage: gold, silver, bronze and basic. Dropping a level might help you save more on your premium, but it could exclude certain clinical categories. If you upgrade again later, waiting periods may apply for clinical categories not previously covered.
Just remember, you might need to reset those waiting periods if you do want to get back onto a gold level of hospital cover for things like, pregnancy, childbirth, things like that.
But ask yourself, are there any extras you don't need? Take a scalpel to anything you're not using. Here are some more ways to claw back savings. Split your cover. Separate providers for hospital and extras can sometimes provide more coverage and save you more. But keep in mind it may add to complexity. Be aware of the Medicare levy surcharge. If you earn above the salary threshold and don't have private health insurance, you'll get hit with an extra tax. And consider getting a policy by age 31. Otherwise, you'll pay a surcharge if you choose to get it later in life.
There are a lot of different insurance, literally thousands of different policies, but it does pay to shop around.
You might be able to get similar cover and benefits for a whole lot less. In this week's Word on the Street, we get a progress report on your first investment.
I've invested in some shares, but not anything major. Definitely looking to do that more now that I have a steady income with full-time work. I've been told don't look at shares, just let them kind of be, let them grow on their own.
I haven't invested in anything formally yet, but I'm looking at going in with my parents on an apartment.
My first shares were in the kind of nursing companies, and they're doing really well now.
It's going all right. Yeah, I've got a few shares, so they're doing all right. It was probably just like a bank, probably like CommBank back in the day, because my uncle just told me that's a relatively safe investment, and it's been pretty good over time.
My biggest investment still is cryptocurrency. I've been on that for a couple of years now. Bit up and down, but I like it. It's kind of the new way to invest. I can understand it a bit more than the stock market, being younger. So there's good months and bad months, but overall everything's like really up. You get higher gains than you would on a normal stock market, but it's more volatile than a stock market. So that's the downside of it, but no, it's been good.
Well, that's it for today. I hope you've enjoyed this episode of Your Money and Your Life. For all the latest money and investment news that you need to know, go to ymyl.com.au, and while you're there, subscribe to my free newsletter, which is emailed to your inbox every single Friday. Thanks for joining us. Next week on Your Money and Your Life, protecting yourself from scams, timely advice for retirees and investors, why climate change is driving up insurance premiums and what you can do about it, what's the best way to ask for a pay rise, plus a heart-to-heart with Kylie Gillies about big changes in her household.